Aloha, Flow Riders, and welcome to another edition of The Flow. I am your co-host, Doc Rock, along with my awesome co-host.
Hey, everyone, it's Katie. I'm going to just have you do it next time, Doc. Right. You could be Katie for a week.
It would be super funny. I don't know how. I'm going to get my accent down.
We do a Freaky Friday episode for Halloween. There we go.
Oh, that would be funny. I'm going to go rent some chickens and put them in my office. I don't know how Karen's going to like that, but it'll be absolutely hilarious. I love Freaky Friday before the Lindsay Lohan version. Anyway. All right, we got something fun today. Case, go ahead and let's introduce our awesome guests.
Well, we are excited beyond all words to get to hang out with the one and only Jeff Sieh today. If you have been hanging out with the Ecamm fam, he was with us not that long ago doing a workshop all about AI and social media and how to build up better workflows. And so I thought, great, let's continue that conversation and bring Jeff on to help us because it's a lot. Like even for this show, there are a lot of different steps and they're always changing. And every time you think you're really organized, something else hits you or you see a good idea. And so I want to be able to talk through some of that here with him today. So again, selfishly, I'm just doing my own thing and all of you are along to learn with me. I'm learning how to get better and you are all here to learn with me. So without further ado, the one, the only, the Jeff Sieh.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. I figured, like I saw Rich's comment, I'm like, I couldn't tell if that he was excited or like, oh my gosh, it's Jeff Sieh.
No, oh, stop that. Stop no self-deprecating humor allowed here.
Oh, no, Rich is a great guy. I got to hang out with him at Podcast Movement, so thanks, Rich, for that. So,
that's cool. Did you guys go to Terry Black's?
No, we just hung out there. He was popping. He's a busy guy. Like he's popping in and out, so. We didn't.
Next time you're at Rich's neighborhood, ask him to take you to something goat. He knows what I'm talking about, or some kind of donkey. I forgot what it's called, but it is.
I don't know. That sounds a little dangerous. So I don't know.
It is like I don't know. I think it's like fried donkey or something weird like that. But it's like oh my god, legit place. You got to go visit with him. It's really cool. Anyway, let's get into this, Jeff. What you got cooking?
What do I got cooking? Like, I'm getting ready for camp. Camp's coming up like tomorrow, it feels like. So leaving for Florida this weekend for a speaking gig, and then I turn right around and go to camp. I'm so excited to see everybody who's going to be there. It's one of my favorite events of the year. And so I'm stoked to go back and see all you guys.
I literally pulled out the packing yesterday to get ready.
Yeah, we're gearing up for it. I'm so excited that you're here on the Flow, and I know some folks were with us for the workshop, and some probably weren't. But I just thought it would be awesome to have a conversation with you about some of the AI-based workflows, because I feel like many of us, mostly me, are drowning in all of the kind of just the content tasks, right? Like even just running a show like this, you have all of the kind of pre-production and planning and scheduling and show notes and graphics and all of that. And then there's obviously all of the production itself of an episode. And then all of the stuff you have to get out across all these different social media platforms. And even if you know all of the sort of general steps, all of the tools are updating so rapidly that I feel like it's so easy to become outdated. So I wanted to, that's what we're going to chat with today. And obviously, if you're hanging out with us in the live studio audience, throw your questions in. We'll ask them live. But we're going to talk about like how to get away from some of the just feelings of like, oh my goodness, there's so much to do. How do you create?
Stop having feelings. That show's over.
Doc's like, oh, stop having feelings. How do you get organized?
I say that in all seriousness because I think one of the first things to understand, something you have to learn, whether you're a cook, whether you're a golfer, pilot, whatever, no one person technically knows all the stuff that you think they know. Even the person who would be considered top of the food chain, unless they wrote this themselves, and even then, I bet you George R.R. Martin, if you just pulled the question out of the sky, he couldn't answer it off the top of his head. This idea of there's this full bucket of anything just doesn't exist, and you really got to stop it with that because that will drive you insane. And then the second part is just make sure this one's going to be good. Jeff's going to come fast and hot, so get something to write with. And I choose this. You can't buy one of these. This came from Jeff. But I just filled it. I just filled it the other day. It's beautiful.
And you use like that special ink. You have that special ink, don't you guys use that?
Yeah, I have this. Very special ink. It's purple.
We're
purple.
nerds.
So,
Nerds unite.
That's very cool.
I think so. Get something the right way. And just I mentioned this yesterday in the video, and it's because Katie had said something in the meeting yesterday, and it was like this feeling of, I don't know how to use all of my tool. I can guarantee you, I will put money on this fact because I am that about it. I don't think there's many people that can outdrive me that aren't professional race drivers. Because why? I spent a lot of time as a actual race driver, right? And I love to drive, and I took defensive driving. I drove ambulances for, emergency vehicles, so I could drive my face off, right? Like if it was in NASCAR days, I would have a back full of shine, and I'm out. They can't catch me. But that doesn't mean that you're a bad person because you can't drive like me. It's just not a thing. Like, it's not a thing. I can't whittle wood like Jeff or make these sick ass pens. So, like, it's okay. Like, I'm never going to make a pen like Jeff. I just say, Jeff, I need a green one. So simple.
Yeah. Oh, see, now he's putting in orders.
I don't. By the way, it wouldn't be green. It would be orange, but that's different. Leave it alone.
Okay. All right. We'll talk later. So one of the so this is the cool thing, and once again, I'm gonna talk about camp a little bit because the people you think are the smartest are usually, when they go into a room, they're not the smartest people in the room. Like, and I love going to camp because I go there. I am blessed that I get to speak, that I get asked to be a speaker, but I am not the smartest person in the room. I love to come learn, and in fact, one of the things just kind of set this whole conversation going is always be learning. Like I just had Tanya Smith on the show for last Friday.
Yeah,
she's amazing. I love her stuff. And so, like, I've been doing this stuff for over 10 years, like live streaming, all the techie stuff. But I was like, I went to her page to do some research, and I saw she had a playlist of all her appearances on her YouTube channel, and I'm like, duh, why haven't I done that? Like, how long have I been doing this? And I'm like, that's genius. And like, so I learn stuff all the time from people I have on my show. And so you'll never have it all together. You'll never know everything about stuff. And you can take people's best practices. Like, if I try to build my YouTube channel the way Doc has done, he's got some great best practices I can follow. But that doesn't mean if I copy exactly the way Doc did it, it would work the same way, because the algorithm has changed. People's tastes have changed. All that stuff has changed from when he started way back when the internet was a baby, right? Like, you can do best practices, but you're gonna have to learn and experiment on your own. So that's kind of when we talk about getting started and kind of post-production using these AI tools. Like, grab what other people are doing, but you don't have to do everything the exact same way, if that makes sense.
I know. I think it's really important, and I think the one thing that I love about your system and process and how you're approaching it is that I really think it's a mindset shift first. So I think it seems, at least, maybe you can argue with me, but it seems as though your focus for your content creation path or journey is that you're really thinking through big picture. So you're thinking through how you are going to use different like clips and moments from your long form content in which places, and you're planning for that, in that you have a system ready to go. You know, like what those moments are going to be, you know how to share them with your guests. And I think that's in many cases where a lot of us get lost, is that we're not necessarily, we don't have that kind of repurposing mindset or the kind of big picture marketing mindset. We're focused on like the show, the plan, etc., and we're not planning ahead for some of those different pieces. So if you're,
it's because I'm lazy, basically. I don't.
Perfect. Let's not be lazy like Jeff. Grab your pens.
Yeah,
teach us to be lazy.
So it's because even back, and this is the Google Plus days, back when live streaming was like the Wild West. I didn't want to I wanted to have a podcast, but I didn't want to also have to go do a YouTube video. So it really was basically, how can I streamline being lazy and not have to work as hard as, I don't want to. So, that's what, I mean, that's how I did it. Cause if I can do a video, then I can take that and make it a podcast. Oh, and then I can make it all these little, I'm done. One piece of pillar content, I'm done. And my friend Mike Alton was doing this with blog posts back in the day. And so it's basically the same thing. It's just like, how can I make one piece of content? And I think creators throw stuff away too fast.
Yes.
Like, they have a great guest on. I have Doc on my show or Katie on my show, and they say all these gems that, if you think about it, those are evergreen. Those are going to last for a while. It's not just how to use the newest tool. It's like, this is what you do to be a better creator. And I'm like, that's evergreen. I can use that over and over and over. And I do. I repurpose the crap out of my guests. And I have not had any complaints. I have not had anybody gripe about, why am I seeing this clip on YouTube? I mean, Doc even says, like, he'll have a clip that'll come up on Twitter or somewhere that was like 3 years ago when he was on my show, but it's still relevant. And why not share it to a new audience for somebody else who is following me for the first time? So I'm all about, working smarter.
The assumption that everybody has seen what you've done and they're going to see it again is still a big hang up for a lot of folks. And so, the old people in the room will understand this, which is just about everybody. But we have a funny, hilarious saying, Mary Lou and I, and it's called, you got content at home. Because remember when you used to want to go to Mickey D's when you was a kid? It's like, Mama, let's go to Mickey D's. Yo, we got fries at home. It was the nasty Kmart frozen, not even Ida. It was somebody else's frozen, whatever Kmart brand was back in the day. And it's like, nobody wants to eat those. They don't taste the same, but it used to always be, you got food at home. So we say you got content at home. And I guarantee you, if you dig through your old stuff, and it's super easy one, find a bunch of old photos that is in the process of doing whatever you do. So for instance, Katie, you've been at this now for about 3 or 4 years solid with the podcasting and that. So if you have pictures of your OG studio and then an interim studio and then the next studio and maybe an unboxing of when you got the purple mic and then the most current studio and then the big professional studios that we went to at Kit, right? Just stick those in a timeline, Final Cut, whatever kind of cut you use. And then go make a 30-second thing like, people, I know it looks like, I just put this together, but this has been literally 5 years of work. So don't judge your journey by, someone else's journey. Voiceover. Done. Mm-hmm. You just made a video. You never pressed a single record other than the VO. And even that nowadays, you can get, the AI to generate your VO for you in Descript. It could sound exactly like you-ish and then send it. And literally you could do that when you don't have time to record something. And it'll be quick because you already have all these photos. And with Apple Photos, you can search subject matters. So you have content at home, people. You just do. You just don't want to because you're trying to be somebody else.
Yeah, or you think you need to reinvent, you need to start fresh every single time or reinvent the wheel each time because most of us are doing like a recurring piece of content. So whether it's like a live show or a podcast or whatever it else. So you're always like, okay, yeah, next, we're always off to the next thing. We're always off to the next thing. And I think you're right. We forget about all of the content at home. I love that talk. I think that's great.
Real quick one before we switch subjects real fast. So the other thing I get all the time from everyone is, oh, well, I made this video before, or somebody else made this video before. Tell me if this sounds familiar. There's a scene, there's two people, and then somebody gets dead, and then these police from New York show up, and they think it's the husband, but then they go through a bunch of stuff, they check the financial records, and it turned out it's not the husband, and it was somebody else, and at the end, they catch that person, and they go to court, and that person goes to jail. 29 seasons solid. Actually, I think we're on 34 at this point. 34 seasons in a row. All of them signed Dick Wolf.
Dun-dun.
Like, really, people? Who cares? It's been done before. Dick Wolf been doing it every Thursday for, oh my God, longer than some of y'all's kids. When that show came out, Abby wasn't born.
Nope, she was not. Yeah.
So how do you?
And he's anyway.
How do you get? So I guess what I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around is on the other side of the workshop that I was lucky enough to get to hang out with Jeff on. I definitely saw like in depth all of the different systems that you've set up. And I'm thinking, so I have almost no systems, but because I'm fast and I can do things in the moment, I just get things done. So I am not working efficiently and I'm not using the AI tools the way that I know I could or should. So I know I need to build some systems and probably some templates. So if I'm thinking repurpose first, and I'm thinking kind of big picture, how do I take my long form piece of content that I'm creating in Ecamm, and how do I plan accordingly so that I can easily create a system to get all of those short moments out there on a regular basis? Where for you is the starting point for something like that? Was it building out the templates within Descript first?
So basically, so I had to make systems once again because I screwed something up. Like
all of us.
When experts, most of the time when you look at an expert, the only reason they know something is because they made something and had something screw up and they had to fix it, right? Yeah. That's just kind of creators all across the board.
Yeah.
So I was getting more clients. I was still doing my show, and I'm like, okay, things are falling through the cracks, right? Yep. So all I did at the beginning is I read this book. I think it's called Checklist. It's about a doctor, and it talks about, pilots, checklist, doctors, checklist. They have all these things. It's ridiculous, like stupid stuff like turn on your computer, like June.
Pilots have to have it with them every time, even if they're the most expert pilot ever. Like their processes, they have to go through the checklist every time, or you do not take off the plane. Like it.
So just set up. So you saw in the workshop, I have Notion. Shout out to Kat because she's the one who got me deep into Notion. I love it. I use it for everything. But you don't have to do this. And I still use just basically notes off on Apple. Like I make checklists on those things for everything, and like. Just make checklists for your show so nothing falls through the track. And then you can add processes on top of it. Like, especially with AI now, is my whole goal is I've kind of got the checklist. I got the systems. I can get guests pretty easily now for my show when I want them. But my thing is like, how do I make the show better?
Yeah.
And this, once again, this is a dumb moment. Why haven't I done this before? But even the pre-production, I'm thinking, okay, how can I make my show better than other ones out there? How can I stand out? So I use AI now to actually research my guests. I talked about Tanya last week on my show. Mm-hmm. So what I went to her YouTube channel. A lot of my people have, they're forward facing. I can see their videos or whatever. And I'll research the last 4 episodes or last 4 appearances they were on. Tanya had it really easy because she had it in a playlist. And then I drop those into AI, grab the transcript, and then I ask it, like, say, hey, I want to be talking about, hers was like from crickets to like making money online, right? So how do we do that with a small audience? So that's what I wanted to talk about. So I asked AI, I said, hey, this is her last 4 episodes. This is what that I want to talk to her about. Help me ask questions that nobody else asks. And like AI helps drive those ideas. I'm like, okay, I've got a show now. And another thing, which is another duh moment, Jeff, why haven't you thought of this? Is now I've started, in the last 3 shows we've done this, is I have 3 sections to my show. That's just the way I've done it. I had to do that when I worked for a company, when I started doing and so it just became habit. Mm-hmm. Doc and I will have fights about should you have questions or not, but we'll talk about that later. But it gives me 3 sections, so I have 3 sections on the that I already broken up, that I know that I can repurpose later. But now I've started going back and saying at the beginning of each section, what's a question that I can ask my audience that would kind of fit all this topic that we're doing. So now if you watch my show, at the start of the segment, I say, hey, what do you guys think about da-da-da-da-da-da? And then all of a sudden the chat blows up, which helps my algorithm shoot out stuff more. People are more engaged. And I'm like, duh, Jeff, why have you done this before? But AI helps with that. So the pre-planning is I think the biggest part. And then once you have the processes in place, you can use AI to help, make lower thirds or backgrounds. And can we talk to kind of about that in the workflow? But is that kind of the answer to your question of like how to get started? So. Like start with a checklist.
Yeah, and I think it's really important. And even in talking to so I've had conversations with Kat, who is, as we said, is a wizard at a lot of this stuff. And that was her advice as well, was like really thinking through, okay, write down what your existing, and whether it's a checklist or even just like a map, like, okay, in doing my show, I do these things. So like I plan out what the episode is going to be about. I see if I have a guest on, like all of those different steps in your checklist. And then you can figure out pretty quickly, like, what are the things that an AI tool or some sort of process would actually save you a ton of time on. And so then you can start mapping out like what those and then you can, once you have that laid out, then you can automate, the different steps of that to then make it faster and easier, which is amazing because it's changing honestly, at this point, like every second of every day. But it used to be that it was like, okay, we record one piece of content and then it was a ton of time and effort to go through it and find where those best moments were. Maybe you had to do markers or visual cues to be able to know like when you're going to pull things out and how you're going to chop that up. Now, all of that can be like processed almost immediately through a transcript and through an AI tool. So that if you can nail the recording, the rest of the pieces of content are almost magical at this point. Like what you can, what you can
I always tell you guys stay away from these fancy words, but I'm going to give you a fancy word, and it's not because of anything. It's just coming from software. When I used to work at a company that makes a lot of software and hardware and really incredible new orange phones. We have something that's called functional decomposition. And all functional decomposition means is you take the steps and you break it down into the minimum viable step. So a lot of people be like, oh man, that's a really amazing steak. How do you make the steak? Well, first you defrost the steak and then you don't put any salt on it. You go through this whole process, you get to the end, you got steak. And I was like, nah, fam, in functional decomp, you got to go all the way back to the farm because if the steak is sourced from some place that is not doing good beef, right, that steak gonna be good no matter what you do to it, right? If it comes from, an abused cow or just too crowded or whatever the reason that it don't taste good, it's not the same. Because I can give you that same steak recipe with the stuff you get from Kroger's, and then compare that to the better steak you get from Costco, and then compare that to my A5 Wagyu. Mine's gonna be better, even if I don't have salt, because I started with the good beef. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, of course, it's $5,000 a pound beef, but whatever. By the time you work it down, so there's a big difference, right? Because we all know as we got to adults, like I couldn't stand steak because my mom was buying crap. When I got to adult and I realized what a ribeye was, and then I also looked at the price and I realized, well, mom's never bought those. I don't eat anything but ribeye at this point. Like, I don't really like, I would never put a porterhouse near my face ever again. Or London broil, fancy name for hard. So you need to know that. And the other thing that Katie made me think about when you said checklist, and I really wish other people could see this. I know that Tanya has. If anybody's been to Japan, if you stand in the front or you watch videos of the Japanese train conductors, they do this every day. 150 routes a day. They walk into the cabin and they do something that's called shitsakanko. They go, and so everything in they do their checklist, they physically point and physically call it out. Because even those of us who have checklists as a scene, we look at it and we go, okay, I did all of that. And no, you didn't, because that's how you miss one. So when you go through the checklist, literally be like, okay, teleprompter. I guess pilots do this as well, right? Yeah. You're going to go teleprompter, you're going to touch it, right? You're going to go mute switches, then you touch it, and you do that. If you do shisakanko and you actually call out the points, you're less likely to physically miss one. And the more elementary it sounds, the safer it is. Just put it that way. Because when you get cocky is when you make a mistake, bro. That's exactly how you miss.
And practice. Like if you get a new Stream Deck, go live into a private Facebook group and practice switching scenes so you can feel what you're doing. I mean, just these little things that sounds like simple, but that's what takes like full-time creators to the hobbyists. Like those are the difference that you can step up in your production. Yeah.
Yeah. And the testing it. The testing
right now, Steph Curry is taking free throws somewhere, and that dude's like probably one of the best shooters in the planet, but I guarantee you he shoots at least 1,000 balls a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. The cool thing about a lot of this is that the process actually remains the same. So I don't know why it's so hard sometimes for me to wrap my head around it. Like it literally is the same process, right? You start with a long form video piece of content, and that could be whatever long form means to you. Could be 10 minutes, could be 3 hours, whatever, 24 hours, doesn't matter. Whatever your long form piece of content is, right? And then you're grabbing using some kind of AI tool, hopefully, to be able to grab 3 to 10 video clips or moments from it, right? Yeah. And then you're also ideally creating, a blog post, an email newsletter, and some social media posts. Again, all of which can be fairly heavily created, if not at least hopefully influenced to some extent by AI and by the transcript of what you actually said on the video. And then it's just a rinse and repeat on figuring out how to schedule those things, how to get them engaged, make them engaging, how to respond back to the analytics, kind of all the other details that go around it. But the flow is the same since the moment we started this show and probably way, way earlier, where it's long form content, clips from it, and then get those clips out, get those moments from your long form content out into all the places in the format that matters to the people that are there.
Yeah, and for like my show, because I have those 3 segments, and I know because I basically it's basically groups of questions or topics for each of those 3 sections. Sometimes we don't get to the last section. That's why I usually have things that I don't care that I want to be brought up in that last section, but it's there for time. But what it's really great, especially because I do an interview style show, or I have a co-host at least with me, is that I'll ask a question and then the guest answers. That is a perfect clip. Like most of the time, an answer from a guest is about 1 to 2 minutes. And those are amazing, usually evergreen content that I can repurpose. It's not brain surgery. Like it's just like I ask a good question, they give a great answer, and I got a clip. And so right now, especially because, and Doc remembers this back in the day when I came right when nonlinear editing systems came to, like Adobe Premiere, I was like version 2, I think I had. And, that was a whole system that you learn how to use nonlinear editing, and you didn't have to cut tape anymore and all this stuff. And now with the AI, everything starts with a transcript. Yeah. So you're already ahead because you can see that great answer that question that guest gave you, and I can clip it out, and you can hit a button in Descript, and it makes it puts all of my branding on it and chops it up the way I want, and I'm done, and I can sit it out and schedule. And so the process is a lot easier. It's that pre-production. I'm going to harp on that again, is making sure you're asking those right questions, and then also making sure you're paying attention to your guests. Like, watch how people, the interview people that you really, really like, look how they're doing it and how they listen. Because yes, I have questions, and I know Doc doesn't like having questions, but half the time I don't use them. They're a starting point, and then I listen to what Katie says, and I'm like, oh, let's talk about how you yelled at your kids for forgetting the remote. Like, how can we fix that? Something like that we could do, because it was interesting. And let's go down that topic. Like, why is Katie yelling? What did her kids do? Like, all that stuff. I'm just giving her a hard time, but you understand, like, by listening, you're so far ahead of most of live producers out there, because they're wanting to get their agenda, or they're wanting to sell their things on their webinar. And you can tell those people who are just rushing through to ask the next question. You want to be ask the question and then listen. So that pre-production is super important.
Yeah, I'm not against preloading questions. What I'm against is the people who ask the same question that person has been asked on every other show that they've been on. Yeah. So, like, if you bring a guest on your show and you don't take the time to watch 3 or 4 other podcasts that they've been on and find the missing holes. Now, here's the cheat code in the before time. Okay, Doc, English. All right, in the old days, you had to sit there and watch all of those suckers. Well, guess what you don't have to do now? Now you can take all 5 of them summer guns, throw them into a clip list, or tell your favorite thing that allows you to move episodes from one place to the other that you're not supposed to. We can't say this on the YouTube, but stick them together in a single timeline, save it as a video, transcribe it, throw it up to the bot, and go find me the unasked questions about this person. And a bigger, better one, if they have a book, ask them, hey, you're coming on my show, and I already bought the book, but I'm just wondering, do you happen to have a PDF version you can send me? And they be like, oh, yeah, why not? Boom.
Oh, yeah, I do that all the time.
Notebook LM, drop the sons in there, and have Notebook LM tell you all of the things about this book, and find the hidden stuff that this author wrote that nobody is talking about. And it knows how to search the web and see whatever. And then when you pull out a deep cut on a person on your show, bro, melted. You melted them. Like the first time you got on the knee and bust out a big ass diamond, you will melt that guest when you pull out a deep cut. They're going to be like, how do you know?
And the other thing too, if you want to be a better content creator, drop some of your shows in and say, what did I miss? What could I do better next time? And it will help. It will tell you that. The other thing is, if you have, like, I'm all about bringing guests back. Like, I'm not a big, like, I've got to have a new guest every time. Like, Katie is a rock star. Doc is a rock star. I'm going to have them on my show as much as possible because my audience loves them, and and they're always good guests. But what you can do is take last time they were on your show and put it in there, like, what questions did I not get answered, or did I forget to ask, or I need to follow up on? And boom, you've got another show, and it's fresh content for somebody you already know, like, and trust that's going to be on your show. So I do that a lot too, because I love to have, I love that thing, like you said, Doc, when somebody goes, nobody's ever asked me that before. And you're like, yes, that's what I wanted.
That's my favorite. Yeah. I'm always shooting for that target, and we always finish, we always get to this show, we get to the end and go, oh my God, sorry, we ran out of time. We got to come back to this.
Right.
And by the time you start the next show, you forgot what you didn't cover the last time. Right. So in this case, you have your bot friends to help you out. And I use Google AI Studio when it comes to having it critique YouTube videos, because it actually watches the video. It doesn't just listen to the transcript, and that's because Google owns all the properties. It can legit watch the video, and you can tell by the things that it critiques you on. And so tell me the 3 things I did right, tell me the 3 things I did wrong, and how do I fix these? And it gives you a perfect blueprint. Like, it's kind of crazy.
I am amazed.
I have a video about it if you want to see.
I am amazed. That is really cool, actually, that it's able to like fully watch the videos. I am amazed, even like with this show, sometimes because we're way more conversational, we get rambly, or we're like, we're off like on tangents, and we're hanging out with questions that come through. So we're, it's definitely less scripted and planned than other shows. And what's amazing to me is that when we get our final episode, we run the transcript, we use a few different tools to get different pieces of content. But the email, recommendations and the blog post recommendations that come out of some of these tools, like, use the content that maybe wasn't as brilliantly said as we could have, and takes that point and like extends out and pulls additional resources, and it creates this like wonderful centralizing piece of content that then I can drop clips in and around. I can dive deeper. So what's amazing to me is, even in those moments where the episode, you get to the end, you're like, oh, wow, I didn't totally nail that the way I wanted to, or it got like, more rambly. Like, you can use those tools to help you summarize and kind of frame the actual episode better. And you can actually use that then to take that into a part 2 of an episode, or dive deeper into the content on the other side. It's been amazing to me on that front. Like, if you're thinking about it from the pre-planning standpoint, even when you fail these days, days, AI is able to help kind of pick up some of those pieces and end up getting the content into a much better spot, or helping you figure out the next path forward with it.
So on this note about being better, and I'll also like always continue to learn. So we did the training for Ecamm. We had a Zoom call afterwards. You sent me the link to that. Yeah. And I noticed in that link that had all the comments. Like, you gave me a file with all the comments in it, and I'm like, okay, this is awesome. I could drop that into AI and say, what were some of the themes of the questions that people were asking? Yeah. And I can build a whole series of shows around something that my audience is already asking questions about, that enough that they're bringing up comments. So I would use stuff like that. Like, if there's a way to get AI, one of the best things, we all want an easy button, but one of the best things is being able to take data and analyze it in ways we've really not been able to do before, at least normal people who don't work at NASA, right? Like, that we are able to take stuff and compare things like, why is Doc's YouTube channel so much better than mine? What is he doing that I can do? Like, those kind of things that it will actually help you diagnose and become better. And so, yes, there's cool things. We can make music now with AI and all this cool stuff we showed in the workshop. But I really think a lot of the power is, how do you stand out by learning from some of these other ways and combining data that you've not been able to do before?
Yeah. So, Jeff, so funny you mentioned that. Legit, there's a video on my channel posted this morning that exactly talks about that, because Claude is one of the best analyzers. And there's people in my audience that love analytics. I personally don't look at them because I think it causes me to make weird knee-jerk reactions. Like, I just can't do it, right? I will get too spun on them. So what I did, though, go into YouTube, say, take the analytics, give me the spreadsheet format, which it will. And then I told Claude to analyze the spreadsheet, right? I gave it a very specific prompt on what to do. And it breaks it down. It came up with Excel templates that you can then use to backfill with stuff. It will help you find your content gaps. It will tell you that, the audience likes it a lot more when you use emojis in the title. Those videos perform better. You might not be able to see that in the Google Analytics page, YouTube Analytics page doesn't explain that. So yes, you can absolutely take the data from something else and give it. And one thing, I'm the DJ. Let me tell you how to remix something. Say you see a podcast from somebody that you absolutely love, completely unrelated to your topic, right? So I'm watching, F1 channel interview Lewis Hamilton, but it's something about that interview that I had to watch it like twice because I just really love that information. Take that exact video, give it to Claude ChatGPT, whoever, and tell me like, yo, how could I remix this to make it work for my channel, my content, my people? If you use your bots enough, it knows all of this information and it will give you the exact blueprint of how to get something that effective on your channel in the voice, the tone, the folks you work with, and it would completely allow you to do what's called remix and outlier. There's tools that people pay for that do this stuff, but you could just remix an outlier from anything. You could even take your favorite show that just came out and be like, I really love this storyline. How do I use this exact same hero arc to help my people get better with their finances? Bam, done.
Yeah.
Super simple.
We talked about that in the workshop a little bit about now even with images, like if you drag an image in, you can drag an image in, and it will. You can say, hey, what was the prompt that you used to create something like this? It'll give you a formula to create a prompt like that now. So it'll pull your brand colors. It'll do all sorts of cool stuff now just by dragging in and saying, analyze this. So don't sleep on the analytics of stuff in AI.
Yeah. Super good. I'm seeing what Paul is. Look, Paul is finding all these gems in the chat over there. Okay, that's cool. The other thing that I thought about real quick that I think is super helpful to people, and I mentioned this in my video today too. If you have this feeling, okay, I got, Claude just came out with all this new stuff and now I got to go relearn all of that stuff. Or ChatGPT just came out with GPT-5 and I don't really have time to learn all that stuff. Guess what all of the bots do now? Teach you stuff.
No,
right? So if you want to know how to make a better steak, you can go into learn mode and it will give you all of the best, right? If you want to know how to use any of these bots and you're like, I don't know how to do these prompts or whatever, it's like, here's what my problem is. Here's a solution that I'm looking for. Here is somebody who's done it already and I'd like it to look like that. Write me a prompt that will get me from step 1 to step 3. And it will do it for you, bro. Like, you don't have to know this crazy prompt engineering. Even if you write a dumb prompt and you feel it's a little dumb, hey, before you run that, can you approve the prompt and explain to me how it's improved? And then the biggest tip that I swear I have to give you, because I can't type, Katie knows, stop snitching, Katie. I use this to do prompts.
Yeah.
I legit just talk to it. I just like, hey, all right, fam, this is what I want you to do. And here's how I want it to come out and blah, blah, blah. And I just hit go. And even if you don't have any fancy program, Apple Dictate or Windows Dictate works perfectly enough. I just happen to use Super Whisper because it's sexier and I like tools, but whatever.
Right. Yeah.
You can talk right into most of the tools as well. Like, I mean, even ChatGPT has a...
Oh, not even voice mode, Kate. I'm just talking about dictate to the plain chat box. I mean, the plain box. Yeah. Not even using voice mode. I mean, voice mode that's a different subject. That's a whole show. Like, I live in that voice mode.
So the other thing, you talk about talking to stuff. We mentioned Notion, and Notion for a while. I mean, it can be a little like you open it up like, oh, like it's open up Photoshop for people. They're like, what is all these windows? And Notion's very powerful, but can be very intimidating. Well, now this is what I told people in the workshop is like, you can sign up and get like a week or 2 weeks of the business plan, which turns on the AI inside of Notion. Now, ChatGPT will connect with Notion, but that's a whole nother thing. But the AI inside of Notion is I told it to, hey, I need you to build me a client portal and I need you to have these sections on it. And it just built it. You could watch it and it was just building it. And so if you're wanting to set up processes or these databases or stuff, you can now just talk to it and it will build it. It's like almost like vibe coding inside of Notion, which is, I personally think a lot of the templates are going to kind of go away because more people are going to be able just to go like, I can make whatever I want just by asking now.
Yeah, so, why have a template
very cool.
if you can just... It really has become like a hardworking intern that is like, hey, what do I do next? Right. And you're like, I need these things. Can you figure that out? And it's like, got it, off and running. Yeah. It is pretty amazing.
I want to say something real fast because this comes up every time we get on it. It's like, oh, here's another tool and here comes another subscription I have to pay for and blah, blah, blah. Silence, lamb, silence. Here's the mindset shift, okay? This is the simplest mindset shift. And this is how I treat it, which is why I have so many thousands of tools that I use. Some of them I only use for like a month and then I get rid of it because I treat it like if I'm going to go eat. Lucky for me, I'm a fat dude, so I'm good for up to about $40, right? Because like that's what I get for lunch every day. You know what I'm saying? So I go to a new tool comes out. As a matter of fact, I just found a new tool that I'm absolutely in love with. Thank you to Mike Smith, which we learned at MacStock, and that's called VoicePal. And you basically talk to it, and it interviews you, and it helps you figure out your script because it interviews you through your script. And it's made by Ali Abdul. He don't know jack about YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So let's get that twisted. Anyway, so when I looked at VoicePal, the initial reaction could have been, oh, God, here goes another $10 a month that I have to spend, right? Or it is, me and Katie going to go eat lunch in the middle of Chicago somewhere, Lakeland, Lakewood, Lake somebody, and that lunch is going to be 20-something bones. Okay, well, since Katie's paying for lunch today, I'm going to spend that 10 bones on VoicePal. And for the first month, I'm going to use it every single day, all 30 days for those first month. Mm-hmm. And then if it doesn't get in where I fit in, I will delete it. Yo, we have spent 30 bones for lunch, and it was straight nasty. Convention food. Holla at your boy. Right? Baseball game food depends on your stadium. San Diego, off the chain, bro. Them tri-tip nachos, Jesus Christ. Anyway, depending on where you live, your stadium food might be junk, but some is good. But anyway, just think of it like that. I'm gonna eat this for this myriad amount of time. And if it flexes, gangster. And if it doesn't, trash it. It's so simple. Stop looking at it like, oh, I got to go pay $100 a month for the next whatever. No, you don't. You got to pay $12 for this 1 month and see if it swings. And if it swings, gangster. And if it doesn't, step off. It's so simple. Yeah. It really is that simple. And too many people panic because they watched everybody else say subscriptions are going to be not low. And meanwhile, this person that's bitching about subscription price has a membership.
So what you also want to do, so what I do is like, I'll do that, but I have to set a reminder, and I just go into Google Calendar and say, hey, check this to make sure whatever doc sold me today, that if I'm going to still use it or not after whatever time slot, because you don't want to go and like, why am I spending $500 on $10 tools, right? Like that you don't use. So put that in your calendar. So whenever I try something, that's my first thing now is I like, okay, double check and say if you're still using this in 2 weeks, whatever. So
the other thing I like that 100%. You did as well is you did go, which is something I haven't been good at doing, is you figured out which tool you want to double down on as well. So like a lot of your stuff is built all around Descript, and you were like, okay, I've played around with a bunch of these other ones. I'm going to continue to play around with a bunch of these other ones and figure out what works and doesn't work. But when you find a tool that does work and offers a bunch of features that make sense for your workflow, double down and learn that software and build templates within it and build stuff around it so that it is worth then the amount of money that you're spending on it. And you can justify that expense to yourself, whether you're getting that back in, time or energy or money, but being able to kind of really realize which ones you're doubling down on and matter to your system.
Yeah, we talked about this, especially so for me, it's Descript. Like if I was on a desert island, the one thing I'd have to have is Descript. Because that shout out to Guy Kawasaki who made us use that from the very beginning when we started this podcast. So, and that was even really clunky back then. But it's like a jack of all trades because, listen, I think Opus is great. I think it continues to get better. And some of these other clipping tools are great. But for me, because I have clients and my own stuff and all this stuff, time matters a lot. Like, I think Opus has the best looking captions. Like, hands down, I think they look the best compared to like Descript. But because I don't have to make a clip, download it, upload it to Opus, and have it do it then, and then download that, and then add it. If I can do it all in one spot, like good enough is okay. Like Descript's tools are good enough just because I don't have to download it and upload it and download it and upload it all back and forth, right? That saves me time. So if you can find tools that do that for you, it's great. And like I love Descript because like, even if I do need to polish some stuff more and go back to my non-linear editing chops for Premiere, I can still download it and use it in that as well. So find something that works and it's based on a transcript, so the philosophy works for me and all that stuff. It's okay not to jump off and do, oh, I got to go Opus now. Oh, I got to do Taja. Oh, I got to do Stub Magic. All those ones kind of do the same thing. Now, if you love it and you want a specific look, go for it. But for me, Descript's short form generation tool that it has inside of there is good enough, and I like it, and that's what we use.
And that's where that like checklist and kind of mapping out what your existing workflow is really going to matter. Like this is where you probably do want to spend your time up front if you're like me and you're feeling like a little bit scattered or you have a workflow but it's a little damaged and you need to get better at it. Like adding some of those time to each of those, and there's 8 million different ways that you can track your time, but being realizing that you're like, oh, okay, Katie, so once you're done recording the flow with Doc and Jeff, you're going to get off here, that episode's going to go over to Luis and he's going to edit it. That takes him 3 hours, remember 3 hours next to it. Then I'm going to send that the video through into Opus. It's going to take 15 minutes for that to process, and it took 2 minutes for me to upload it. Then it takes 10 minutes for me to and then calculate each of those steps and figure out how much time you're spending and where those efficiencies are that you can correct for. So like where are those places where you are hemorrhaging a ton of your time, or like, is the tool worth it? Like and then you'll have to ask those questions like Jeff has clearly asked, which is like sexy captions I like the best versus 4 hours of time. Like, what's the trade-off for you? And it might be that like it matters more on the design than on the amount of time you're spending, or you have, people helping you with it. And so it's not only on you, on you for your time, but I feel like the more of this that I'm doing, and the more kind of these workflows for different projects, whether it's, a personal show or this show or, workshop that we're doing, the more I'm realizing, oh, okay, I actually do really need to spend my time in that kind of upfront checklist time period and be like, okay, like, what is my process or system for this? How much of it is manual? How much time can I spend? Is the automating it going to take me more time than just doing it quick and fast myself? Like, it's those kinds of questions that I think, once we get busy, are really easy to lose in the process. So it's a good reminder for all of us to go back and just really say,
we are going to run out of time. So I want to do something super fast to show you guys something about this sort of clipping situation.
Yeah.
So Jeff, don't overthink it. Just spit out the answers. We're going to try to do this super quick.
Fast questions.
So Jeff is one of the most amazing people when it comes to like AI, using it for content creation. So Jeff, off the top of your head, if there was 3 tools that every creator should look at or relook at, what would they be?
Oh gosh, 3 tools. Descript, Notion, because Descript does everything that you need. Descript, Notion, and for fun, I would say Suno, because we talked about making AI audio things for our show, which I've been doing for all my guests now. They have an opening kind of thing. I would love I think some sort of AI audio thing would be one of them.
That's perfect. Okay, now listen, people, I just want you to see something real quick. Jeff, you don't have to redo it now. If I'm doing the show and I know I want to repurpose that part, you know what I'm going to say? Jeff, I want to get a clean one for the repurpose and share social media. So can we do that question again? And I would just do it again and let Jeff clean up his answer. Nobody cares, fam. It will save you so much time. Yeah. You don't have to ask Opus to do anything. You just clip it yourself and then send it to Opus to get a caption. Or like Jeff in Descript, because he knows where it is, it's faster. He doesn't have to let the AI capture it. If it's something solid, he just gave a really solid answer and it deserves to be shared. I would just stop and say, can you say that again? Because we do that in the news. Man, that was really good. Could you repeat that again for the audience? I want to make sure that people hear this. Yo, this has been going on since Charlie Rose was a nephew. Slow down, fam. Don't make yourself work twice. Don't make yourself work twice. If it was dope, ask them to repeat it and then clip it right there. You know exactly where it is. Save yourself some time. Anyway, that was it.
Absolutely.
Can I give one quick thing, little tip? So go in, like this is what I do in Script, and I think you can do the same thing in Opus or Submagic, all that. But a lot of times we'll do cold opens for the beginning of our YouTube videos or our podcasts, right? Descript has a thing that says find good clips, and it will find like 5 of them, and you can hit redo it or whatever. And that's what we're using for a lot of our clients and for our shows. It will go find those for us. I'm like, ooh, that's good. I'll tighten it up a little bit, stick it to the front. I'm done. That used to take a lot more time to put together, but now having them sort it for me, even if I can pick it and it's done. Mm-hmm. So there you go.
Yeah. So super, super simple. I really, really love that. And the other thing that you could know, if you don't want to make the people reshoot it, have a keyword. Have a keyword. So like we're going to call the things that Jeff kills us today with, we're going to call those like flow drops. And then when I give it to Opus or any of the AI guys, I'm going to say, look for this keyword that's called flow drops. It will get you in and around that clip. Yeah. So if you have a buzzword that you and your audience has come up with, it can find that in the transcript, and you already know that you have a heater clip somewhere in there because you mentioned, wow, that was a diamond, that was a gem, that was a flow drop, whatever you use, and you're good to go. All right, I see. Like Katie said, we're going to run out of time, and we did. So, first of all, thank you, Jeff. How can they find more, Jeff? That's just going to be a new
every Friday at 10 a.m. Central, Creator News Live. I have great guests like Doc and Katie on every week, usually. So, 10 a.m. Central, Creator News Live.
4 a.m. Hawaiian.
And you can still, I know 4 a.m. Hawaiian. I know that Paul dropped the link in, but you can still absolutely grab the replays and the bonus content for the workshop Jeff did. You swing over to ecamm.com/social growth. That will get you all of those workshop moments. So that you can throw the transcripts for that into AI and get the summarized notes.
I was going to say, grab all of the videos, all of the transcripts, everything, throw them in a notebook LM, build yourself a notebook and call it my AI study guide. Whenever you have a question, go ask it. It will give you the answer. So simple. All right. So this show, if you want to find out more about us, all you need to do is go to flow.ecamm.com. That's FLOWECA2Ms.com. And this will allow you to get the podcast wherever getting is got. You can leave us a review. You can ask us questions. You can even request a to be a guest on the show like our buddy Bruce did. And congratulations, Bruce, on your first episode. We also want to send a shout out to our sponsor for this show, which is Shure. And all three of us absolutely love Shure because Shure will make you sound good. And just trust they know what they're doing. 100 years in making microphones, they know what they're doing. Just if you need to sound nice, go check out Shure, and you can find out more at shure.com. That is what we call a speed wrap. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the time when we must say bye-bye and Flow Riders out.
Bye, everyone.